Hi, good morning or afternoon or whenever you are going to watch this. But it's week 8. We're officially more or less halfway through the semester, or we will be by Thursday or Friday. So I just wanted to commend those of you who are still active in this course, because your discussions have really been actually pretty darn good, and you've gone into regions and areas that are tense at times, but you're pushing each other, you're questioning each other, and you're still being very respectful, so it's wonderful. We are getting ready to really rock and roll through the 20th century here, and so we have World War I behind us, but you need to bring World War I into this week as well, because I always feel bad for World War I because it doesn't seem to get the attention in grammar school, high school, and college that World War II got. But it is so important in understanding how the Russian Revolution develops, how the Great Depression is able to go so viral, and then even Turkey's little revolution is really given shape, although they had been having problems since before the war, really given shape by the occupation that follows World War I. So as you're looking at these, I call them interbellum events, this period between the two great wars, they tend to get ignored because they are sandwiched between World War I and then World War II. But they're almost better understood in a kind of continuum, where everything that's leading up to World War I happens, World War I happens, and then what happens there happens. We set up a real period of overextension in Russia. We then set the stage for the removal of the Tsar, and then the Bolshevik Revolution in October. After World War I, we have this global network like never before, where actually the United States gets pulled into continental affairs, continent being Europe, more than it has. And when a Great Depression really hits the United States, it infiltrates all of Europe, goes viral through the globe, because we're all now connected as we try to rebuild after the war. So it's in all of the economic activity that happened to try and rebuild from World War I that you create these connections, and then when a depression hits, the depression just follows up through all of those connections. Similarly in Turkey, which is near and dear to my own heart, there had actually been rumblings of young Turks before World War I, and that actually kind of was suppressed during the war. And then once the Ottomans fall and Constantinople and Turkey are kind of fall under occupation by all these European forces, it is an opportunity for the Turkish nationalists who say, no, Turkey is for Turkey, and this is going to be our new identity, led of course by Ataturk, Mustafa Kemal. That really galvanizes them, gives them a common enemy, and then they're able to throw out all of those powers. And you really see the whole imperial, anti-imperial themes that we had been studying before the onset of this century. You see them all kind of revive. World War I is especially problematic because it was supposed to be about the dissolution of the dissolving of empires, and instead you have Britain and France going out and carving up all the Middle Eastern territories that had belonged to the Ottoman Empire and making new quasi-empires where they have these mandates to rule, and they really screwed up the borders of the Middle East and really laid the groundwork for a lot of the problems that are going to follow there. And I'm not saying they're totally culpable, but the policies there were so short-sighted and were so European-centric rather than being in the interest of the people who actually lived there. I've talked too long again. I'm so sorry. But let's learn something about these interbellum years and really set ourselves up for the next war that's going to follow next week. All right. Thanks so much. Be sure to email me if I screw anything up or neglect you, as I did Andrea earlier. And I'll be sure to catch it as soon as I can. Thanks.